Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends, and today we're gonna be doing a Demytha not unkillable comp, right? So check this out. It's a 2 to 3 key comp, right? It's not a perfect like 2 key yet. I have yet to test it out on the other affinities because I've been doing it on Nightmare Affinity, because Nightmare Affinity is where my Brogdymancer comp is having a hard time mustering up a 3 key even, because my two champs, apart from the Brogdymancer comp itself, are both Spirit Affinity, Iron Brago, and Fane. Alright, so let's do a quick rundown of how my standard Brogdymancer comp works. So, the standard Brogdymancer comp is a non-unkillable clan boss comp designed to do Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare and Brutal, right? And on the same speeds, on full auto, right? So what it does is you're using the core of Underpriest Brogny and Geomancer, and then you're having a buff extension champ as your third core champ extend all the buffs Underpriest Brogny does, and all the other buffs that your other two champs will do, right? So really, you're trying to fill out the two other slots with like non-unkillable clan boss stuff that you want on there. So you want ally protection, you want increased defense, you want decreased attack. So decreased attack being the most mandatory part of the comp, right? So you need to have decreased attack on. With Demytha in the comp, while she deals a lot less damage than Sandlash Survivor does, I believe I can bring that damage up if I put her in some kind of maybe like retaliation gear or something to make her hit back. Something like a counterattack gear, retaliation gear. I think I could probably squeeze out maybe another 500k damage out of her, maybe. We'll see. Because the comp with Demytha in it lasts 50 turns. It's pretty crazy, right? I currently have Demytha on Lifesteal set, just kind of like as a placeholder, because I don't really know what to build her with yet. And now I'm seeing it's kind of a mistake, because she doesn't do anything, like, damage-wise, so she never gets any Lifesteal procs. And I think the better set to put on her would be something like a Retaliation type set, or like a Toxic set, or no, not Toxic, Retaliation, or something to make her live longer, like a Stalwart set, right? So those are the two I'm looking at right now to try to make the team better. But as of right now, it is a 2 to 3 key comp on Ultra Nightmare, probably all affinities, because I can already do a 2 key on most affinities. The only one I can't do it on is, of course, Void, because Brogdymancer isn't good in Void affinity, right? Because you have the damage almost that Geomancer and Underpriest Brogny can do, which is a lot. So they take a chunk of that damage away, because on the first 2 hits, where the clan boss does 2 hits, on the affinity modes, it only does 1 hit with a Void, right? And I had a hard time with the Nightmare affinity. So this is kind of like a starter build for a Demytha comp that isn't unkillable, right? For a lot of people, really, they got Demytha because they wanted to do unkillable comp. They probably have Seeker already, they have Beacon, you know, they have Fushan, whatever. So yeah, or you have a Man-Eater, so there's a Demytha Man-Eater comp as well, right? So sure, those are going to be things I'll be doing down the line, of course, but as of right now, I'm still on the Brogdymancer train, because I feel like that was the reward for playing this year correctly. Like, if you played this year correctly, you should have Underpriest Brogny and Geomancer. Like, if you diamond-handed your shards and you pulled them at the right times, you would have Underpriest Brogny and Geomancer, and you wouldn't need to do an unkillable comp, you know? You just like have this modal like comp that you can continuously work on, make better. Let's go to Demytha and what changes I did for her to my other standard Brogdemantzer comp. So if you watch my standard Brogdemantzer video, it's in my channel, check it out. The thing that separates it, I think, is that my buff extension champ has to go first. That way, the entire fight, I'm covered from the debuffs that the affinity clan boss will do, right? Specifically the decreased speed from Spirit, but all the affinities will do their little debuff, right? And the block debuff from Under Priest Bogni will cover you the whole fight. Great. The only problem is, if I put Demytha on first, I don't get the extra 1 turn of Unkillable, right? So she does a 1 turn of block damage, right? And I don't need to have block damage on the entire fight, but since I'm doing decreased attack, and decreased attack has a hard time sticking on for like 2 straight turns, that 1 turn decreased attack could fall off. I'm unkillable that turn. That's the magic of this Brogdemantzer Demytha comp. Yep. You heard it here first. So yeah, so the comp can last 50 turns. Easy. Easy. Like even if your unkillable only lands for 2 turns, your comp is gonna last 50 turns. That's what makes it cool. That's what makes it strong. So, and you just have to program your decrease attack champ to use their decrease attack skill the turn after Demytha puts on the unkillable buff. Easy to do, right? You just set it on the AI, no problem. So this is the Demytha build I have. Oh, let's go back to the stats real quick. 171 speed, no accuracy, no resistance, you don't need that. Lots of HP because she puts on a little mini shield. That is going to work a lot better if I have her on some kind of retaliation set, revenge accessories, you know. Those will be kind of like the things I want to build her on. It's revenge accessories and retaliation set, probably just to bring her damage up a little bit, and she puts that little shield on. And the shield does make a big difference when you're doing Brogdemantzer comp, because that's what triggers Under Priest Brogni's passive, right? So yeah, that's it. That's the comp. It's really, really good. The stats for my other champs, I mean, you can look it up on my other video, right? It's practically the same, hasn't changed. The speed is 171, 179. That gets you the 1-to-1 ratio with Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, with Ultra Nightmare being that you skip the first turn. That's it. So usually the clan boss will not do the debuffs on the first turn. They do it on the second turn, so that's when you put up your block debuffs, and thereby you avoid the stun and the block debuffs, right? And Demytha will just extend, and then the champ that goes last in your comp ends up not having the block debuff on. But let's say that champ ends up being Under Priest Bogni, you're gonna build him to last more than 50 turns anyway with this kind of comp. So yeah, 50 turns with Demytha is pretty much guaranteed, I think, as long as you have an ally protect champ in your roster. I've yet to try her out on my other affinities because, like I said, my other affinities are pretty secure. It was my magic affinity that needed shoring up, and she was a strict upgrade for sure from Sandlash Survivor, because Sandlash was spirit affinity, you know. So as far as Demytha being better than Godseeker and Neri in this same slot, I feel like I can't test it because I don't have Godseeker and Neri, but at the same time, Godseeker and Neri is probably going to do more damage, I feel like, you know, than Demytha. So with Demytha, I have to kind of figure out a way to bring her damage up while she doesn't do any attacks. So that would be like counter-attack, probably would be the only way I could do that, right? So I can bring a counter-attack champ in, maybe she'll deal more damage, and then I lose some damage, you know. So we'll see. We'll see, actually. I'm not entirely done with the comp yet. This is like the initial stage, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you guys next time.